Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So this is a day later than I expected to record my reaction review to the Haikyuu chapter that dropped. So it's been pretty interesting the past day or so, trying to just avoid general spoilers and everything before I could react to the chapter. Thankfully, I managed to avoid most of it. The only thing I got semi-spoiled on was just because it was literally all over my timeline with people talking about it was Kenma having become Hinata's sugar daddy, apparently. So I'm super excited to dive into this and see what the context behind all that is. And I wanted to get this reaction review out and completed because we're recording for the Haikyuu pod tonight. So I wanted to get this out of the way before I dive into the discussion with them, the phenomenal group of people. As always, I'll link the link to the podcast Twitter below, so everyone please give them a follow if you haven't already. But without further ado, let's dive into Haikyuu chapter 375, Polish. And we have translation by Adrian Beck and lettering by Erica Tariquez. And on the cover page, we see we see Kageyama and Oshima just going around signing autographs for their adoring fans, and you see this adorable little child with the Adlers t-shirt on, and Kageyama's just signing his back, and he's looking super grumpy. So we pick up with set count 2-0 for Santana and Hinata team against Marquez and Fernandez team. So they won 21-19 and 21-16. So you see them doing a woo as Hinata does a palm slap with Santana. And you have him going, all right, now all we need is one more win to qualify for the next circuit. Hinata's like, yep. And Santana's like, hey, I've been curious for a while now, but is that your sponsor? Is it a Japanese company or something? And you see that Hinata's wearing shorts with this symbol for something called Bouncing Ball. And Hinata's like, yeah, it's a friend's company. And Santana's like, wow, really? That's awesome. Still, if it's a Japanese company, I guess they can't sign me, huh? Of course. So we have grown-up adult Kenma Kozume, college student, stock trader, pro gamer, YouTuber, CEO of Bouncing Ball Limited. Of course. Oh, boy. You have now going, whoa, you're living in your own house now, Kenma? Cool. Kenma's like, meh, it's old and just a rental. It's not all that. And you see Hinata just wandering around just in awe of seeing Kenma's giant house. And he's like, whoa, personal home theater? And Kenma's like, it's just my game room. And you see this giant little projection screen with a single recliner in front of it with a table and a cup next to it. And you see a little projector, and you see Nintendo Switch on this shelves, on these shelves, and you see these giant speakers. And you see that he has just all these game systems lined up on the side. And he's like, just a game room? He's like, holy crap, they're real arcade games. It's like, wow, why don't you get a condo in Roppongi Hills or something? You totally could. And you see Kenma's little gamer set up with his 3 monitors and his computer stand. And Kenma's like, dude, why is it that as soon as you make some money, everybody's like, go live in Roppongi Hills? Kuro said the same thing to me. And you have Hinata going, hey, Kenma, I really super duper appreciate it and all, but why'd you decide to be my sponsor? And he's like, He's like, just cuz. He's like, I mean, why not? I've got the money. And Hinata, poor Hinata's like, oh, I so wish I could say that. And Ken was like, but if you ever get boring, I'll drop you. And he just gives him that glance, and Hinata just starts shaking. And Santana's like, hey, Shoyo, I was thinking, if we win our next game, I want to propose to Nice. And you see Nice Rodriguez, 26, restaurant worker. And Hinata's just staring in shock. He's like, and then Santana's like, oops, sorry. I didn't mean that to pressure you or anything. Honest. I was just doing it to, get myself hyped up and push myself to try hard and stuff. And Hinata's like, you're betting your whole life on your play? Santana's like, well, yeah, it's kind of my job and all. And I was like, that's so cool. And he just does a little zwip as he's in his little kneeling pose, and he's like, I pledge to give it my utmost. Santana's like, hey, come on, don't get all formal on me. And he goes, anyway, let's say we go have ourselves a little pre-celebration, huh? Throw back some cold ones, and he's just miming, taking a drink. And I was like, sorry, I can't. I'm going to take a short break and then go do a light workout. And then Santana's just like, oh man, he gets all super disappointed. And he goes, man, you always make sure to do it the right way every time, don't you? Doesn't that ever get tiring? And I was like, huh? It's like, nope, I make sure to get plenty of rest so it's never tiring. I get 8 hours of sleep every night. And then Santana's like, that's not what I meant. He's like, I'm asking if it doesn't, get stifling and stuff. And Hinata's still confused, and Santana just doesn't understand how to get this across to him. So he goes, aha, I think I get it. To me, playing volleyball is work. But to you, Shoyo, it's more like you're just messing around with a hobby. And Hinata's just thinking about it. He's like, a hobby? And Santana's like, oh, I don't mean it like you aren't serious about it or anything. And he goes, I think I see. Like always making sure your nails are perfectly trimmed all the time. And Santana's like, huh? And he goes, and being sure to write in your volleyball journal every day. He goes, practice, workouts, and training. Doing it all is just part of everyday life. And Santana's like, yeah. People who play volleyball like they eat dinner. It's just something they do. Heck, they probably don't even feel like it's an effort at all. And I was like, but if I had to choose food or training, I choose the food. He's like, it's like, that's not something supposed to be an either or in the first place. And Santana's like, yep, it's playing volleyball like car nuts polish their favorite set of wheels to a mirror shine. They just do it. As he takes off, he goes, anyway, see you tomorrow, Shoyo. And I was like, see ya. You see later that night at the market, you see, what's his face? I cannot for the life of me remember the one that Hinata came here to see, Washijo's former pupil. And he sees Hinata at the market, shopping for some cauliflower. And he goes, there's Hinata-kun. For someone who's adapted surprisingly well to both this land and its people. He goes, getting cauliflower, I see. And he goes, from time to time, I see something in him that brings to mind the frigid winter winds of northern Japan. And he thinks back to his time where he sees, or his time at Shiratori Aizawa Academy, where you see this little pillar with the eagle statue on it. He goes, if you aren't careful, it blows straight through you, freezing you to the bone. He knows that it isn't a given for you to be okay, for everything to be all right. But still he trains, he practices, he disciplines himself, working until being okay has become a habit. He's like, perhaps he's gone through some sort of difficult experience before. And then you see as he's watching Hinata's like, it's like, I want some natto. And the next day you see Soul Card Cup, and you see a bunch of tents being pitched next to a volleyball court. And Nice is there cheering on Santana and Hinata, going, good luck, you two. And you see Hinata just picking up some sand as he's testing the direction of the wind, And he goes, perpendicular wind. He's like, okay, I'm going to win this match, watch Haikyuu get married, and then go back home to Japan. And then you see that their opponents are Carlos Carvalho, 19, 6'3", and Lucas Santos, 37, 5'11". And on the opposite side, you have Haikyuu Santana, 25, 6'6", and Shoyo Hinata, 21, 5'7". And you see them all talking, and then you see, who the hell is that? And you see someone coming over and watching, going, I've never watched one of Shoyo's games before. Is that Oikawa on the side? I cannot tell who it is with that hat on. And you see bad side upwind is Santos and Carvalho team, and the good side downwind is Santana and Hinata team. And you see, so the net's here, Santana and Carvalho are on this side, and Hinata and him are on this side with the wind blowing direction that way. So you see game start with Carvalho's serve, and he does up and he does a spike. And Hinata digs it with a mine. Santana like, Shoyo. And he goes, figures they aim straight at Shoyo first thing. They know that setting isn't my strong point, and it's all obvious that Shoyo is short. Make the bad setter set and the short hitter hit. It's a valid strategy. Excuse me. But at the start when I couldn't get much height, you see but, and then you see Hinata going, at the start when I couldn't get much height, I figured that my legs weren't strong enough to handle jumping off of sand. And yeah, that was part of the problem, but it wasn't the only one. More power or no, you can't kick off sand like you would a solid floor. There's too much give. It doesn't let you get away with just riding your momentum. And you see him flashing back to Kageyama telling him, hey, your jump is drifting again. And he goes, you have to take your velocity and send all of it up. It's a critical factor to jumping well, and being on the sand only makes it all the clearer. Oh boy, and you see Hinata just coming to a stomp with a stump. And you see him kicking his feet back like this as he leaps up with the dun. And everyone that's watching him is just watching in shock at how high he's jumping. And then you see the ball just kind of whiffling slowly towards him. And he goes, if you jump well, then being in the air is freeing. And you see a bam as he slams the ball down for an instant kill, scoring the first point of the match. We have next chapter hits December 8th. Oh boy, alright, so I'll save, because I don't have many thoughts, but I'll try to save most of them for the Haikyuu pod tonight. But I will say, Kenma turning out to be Hinata's sole sponsor for volleyball just makes absolutely perfect sense. And it makes sense that, he'd give up going pro, or that Kenma would, make a career out of gaming and become a YouTuber. Like, that just fits him so perfectly as a career choice. I'm surprised I never even thought of it before. But again, I like the truisms in the series of, like work being hard, but you just have to kind of get used to making it a habit. And once you just repeatedly keep doing it every day, it just kind of becomes second nature to you. And I love that we're seeing, Hinata having internalized all the lessons that Ukai taught him early on, which, that you take care of your health by eating well, getting lots of sleep and lots of rest and building up muscle. And I honestly cannot wait to see him get back onto a wooden volleyball court again, to see how much his game has changed and how much more height he's able to get from jumping off a solid floor as opposed to a wooden one. Or sorry, yes, a solid floor as opposed to a sandy one. So I'm super excited for that. Apart from that, I don't have much more to say. This Haikyuu arc has just been straight fire ever since it started. Any doubts I had about the direction Furudate-san was taking this have been quashed so many times over. I can't believe how amazing it is that Furudate has managed to maintain the same level of consistency and actually improve on the quality after making such a drastic change in the story, where other authors I think would really struggle with doing something like this and maintaining that consistency so easily. But I guess I shouldn't be really shocked because Haikyuu has consistently proven itself to be one of the best series running in Shonen Jump right now. And like I said, we'll probably be. Please do listen to the Haikyuu pod when the episode drops. Hopefully in the next week after we record for tonight, because you'll get to hear us squealing all about this chapter and talking about how amazing it was. And yeah, so hopefully this video will upload right now and should be out relatively early this evening. Until next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.